Gospels, Jesus teaches his disciples in two different ways. The first way was through his words, things that he said to them, ways that he taught them through stories. And one particular way he taught them were through stories called parables. Now, a parable is a story meant for a very specific person or group of people at a specific time. And so the people that Jesus was teaching to, the disciples that were listening to him in the Gospels, were people that had a very not good relationship with God. They didn't quite know who he was, or as Jesus knew him to be as his son. So Jesus told a number of these stories called parables, and one of the most memorable ones is the story or the parable of the prodigal son. Now, prodigal is a big word that usually means one son who left foolishly, but then returned, who came back. So it might be also named the foolish son who left, but then came back. And so let's read from this parable. We can find it in the Gospel of Luke and chapter 15, verse 11. So Jesus said to his disciples, "There was once a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to him, 'Father, give me my share of the property now.'" So what's happening here is that Jesus is describing one son who goes to his father and basically says, "Hey, Dad, you're dead to me. So why don't you just give me all the stuff that you've been keeping for me for once you die and just give it to me now? I want it now." Doesn't seem like that good of a son, does it? So the man divided his property between his 2 sons. So the father does it. Wow. After a few days, the younger son sold his part of the property and left home with the money. He went to a country far away where he wasted his money in reckless living. So he went and just spent it all. He wasted it. He went to party. He went to go play. And he just blew all of his money like it was nothing. He spent everything he had. Then a severe famine spread over that country, and he was left without a thing. So all the food dried up, all the money went away, and this young man who took all of his father's money and wasted it was suddenly left with nothing. So he went to work for one of the citizens of that country, who sent him out to his farm to take care of the pigs. Now, in Jesus' time, and in the Jewish culture, pigs were thought of as unclean animals. You know, they wouldn't even eat pigs because they were so unclean. They never had any bacon or ham and cheese. So this young man who blew all of his money now found himself working with pigs. Working with pigs. That's like the lowest of the low jobs. That's like the dirtiest of jobs you could ever do as a Jew. So people listening to Jesus saying this would probably have been like, ew! All right? So, let's go on. He wished he could fill himself with the bean pods the pigs ate, but no one gave him anything to eat. Oh, it even gets any worse. He wants to eat the slop that the pigs are eating because he's so hungry. But he's not even getting what the pigs are eating. So now he's being described as lower than the pigs, the dirtiest of animals. So this son is in pretty dire straits here. At last he came to his senses and said, "All my father's hired workers have more than they can eat, and here I am about to starve. I will get up and I will go to my father and say, "Father, I have sinned against God and against you. I am no longer fit to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired workers." So this is what he decides in his mind that he's going to say to his father once he goes back to him. So he got up and started to go back to his father. Then Jesus goes on to tell the story, saying, "He was still a long way from home when his father saw him." You know, imagine the father waiting out on the front porch, looking down the road, and then seeing that little spot of his son way out in the distance, returning home to him. His heart was filled with pity, and he ran out and met his son on his way back home. He ran and threw his arms around his son and kissed him. So then the son says, "Father, I have sinned against God and against you. I am no longer fit to be called your son." And if you remember too, he had more to say to him. But then his father called to his servants, saying, "Hurry, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and shoes on his feet. Then go and get the prize calf and kill it. And let us celebrate with a feast. For this son of mine was dead, but now he is alive. He was lost, and now he has been found." And so the feasting began.
Over the hills and far from home, she's waiting for love.